Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Cat's Cauldron, a place where you have a voice and we stir it up. Tonight, remember, I talked to you this morning and we said that we were going to talk about the COVID virus and immunity and a specific article that talks about Dr. Fauci admitting that if you had the coronavirus or the flu, that you had immunity. Now, some years ago, he admitted that if you'd had the flu, you had immunity from the flu and some spurs of the offspring or mutations of the flu. And I believe, I have a actual video of him speaking on the COVID virus and immunity. So I will let him, words from his mouth, not mine, because I'm not an expert on this. He is supposedly an expert on this. So we'll let the science doctor speak on this. Stand by for more content.
Dr. Fauci, scientists have shown that rhesus monkeys that are infected with COVID-19 cannot be reinfected. Several studies have also shown that plasma from recently infected coronavirus patients neutralizes the virus in lab experiments. In addition, infusion of convalescent plasma is based on the idea that recovering coronavirus patients are developing immunity and that it can be beneficial as donated. Studies show that the recovering COVID-19 patients, from the asymptomatic to the very sick, are showing significant antibody response. Studies show that SARS and MERS, also coronaviruses, induce immunity for at least 2 to 3 years. And yet the media continues to report that we have no evidence that patients who survive coronavirus have immunity. I think actually the truth is the opposite. We have no evidence that survivors of coronavirus don't have immunity, and a great deal of evidence to suggest that they do. The question of immunity is linked to health policy, and that workers who have gained immunity can be a strong part of our economic recovery. The silver lining to so many infections in the meat processing industry is that a large portion of these workers now have immunity. Those workers should be reassured that they likely won't get it again, instead of being alarmed by media reports that there is no evidence of immunity. You've stated publicly that you'd bet it all that survivors of coronavirus have some form of immunity. Can you help set the record straight that the scientific record, as it is being accumulated, is supportive that infection with coronavirus likely leads to some form of immunity? Dr. Fauci.
Yep. Thank you for the question, Senator Paul. Yes, you're correct that I have said that given what we know about the recovery from viruses such as coronaviruses in general, or even any infectious disease with very few exceptions, that when you have antibody present, it very likely indicates a degree of protection. I think it's in the semantics of how this is expressed. When you say, has it been formally proven by long-term natural history studies, which is the only way that you can prove, one, is it protective, which I said and would repeat, is likely that it is, but also, what is the degree or titer of antibody that gives you that critical level of protection, and what is the durability? As I've often said, and I again repeat, you can make a reasonable assumption that it would be protective, but natural history studies over a period of months to years will then tell you definitively if that's the case.
So, folks, I played that for a very specific reason. There are people who have lost their jobs. There are people who have been kicked out of the military for the reason of not getting the shots. They have had the coronavirus, so they have the natural immunity. They've been exposed to it, and some people have been exposed to it in a very violent way. They had it like I had it. They had it for a long period of time. So therefore, they have the antibodies in their system. They have the natural immunity. So therefore, they have more they have more than the shot could afford them. They have a better protection level than the shot could afford them. So I have to ask you, why are they forcing additional shots, additional boosters on people who have already had it? Why are they kicking people out of the military? Why are they reducing our force when we need them now more than ever? When there is a exponential threat to our security. We have a blockhead over there, not just threatening Ukraine, he's threatening us. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's just threatening Ukraine, because Ukrainians are weak. Don't get me started. What do you think he thinks of us? What do you think he thinks of our leadership? Pause and think about that for just a second. If the only thing we imposed on him was sanctions, very weak sanctions, and NATO did nothing else but impose sanctions, what do you think? I'll set that right there and let you ponder that. Stir your soup a little bit. I will tell you, as things progress, my podcast will get a little more open. We're going to get a little more interesting. I will make no apologies because this is who I am. This is who I've always been. We're going to have a little fun. I like to have fun. But I'm always truthful. And I'm always me. Don't expect me to be anything else. You don't like me? That's okay. You don't have to like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea or cup of coffee. Some like it hot, some don't. So, change the channel. It's okay. I got enough people who will turn in. So, I do appreciate my patronage. I do appreciate those who do tune in. Thank you very much. But I'm just letting you know I'm not going to change who I am. Thank you for tuning in. You can reach me at www.spreaker.com. I'm looking to expand. I will probably have some advertisers soon. So we are probably going to blow the lid off of this. I'm on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Reddit, iHeartRadio, TikTok, Spotify, Getter, Instagram, Facebook, and Anchor so far. Let's keep it growing. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye.